Okay, hello gang. We are finally back after a month and a half, 2-month hiatus. I don't even know if it was that long, but welcome back to the vlog. Kali, if you could not pull down the camera, that would be ideal.
Come here, come see me.
Hold, please. Whoa.
Come see me.
Oh, she's so cute. Wow. Okay. So, yesterday on my Instagram, I posted about what Collins was eating, and like then I posted a picture of how much she had actually eaten. And a lot of people, I keep saying a lot of people, like 2 or 3 people responded. So I decided I'd put like a little question box about her whole solids experience. And I actually got a ton of questions that are really, really good. So I'm just gonna go through all of these questions that I got and hope that Collins doesn't knock the camera down in the process. But
Collins, your baby?
She's literally
Collins,
chewing the tripod. Go get baby.
Come here.
Carly, where's baby? Oh, hang on. I have a lot of questions, but the first one I'm gonna start with is, can you just tell us a summary of your journey, how you started versus now? So when we went to her 4-month appointment at the pediatrician, she gave us the okay to start solids. I did not feel comfortable. I feel like every single mom has a little bit of anxiety around solids, starting anything but breast milk or formula. So we actually didn't end up starting until she was 5 months. And we started with just purees. So I've read a lot about baby-led weaning, but I wasn't ready to just jump right in. Just a lot of anxiety about like choking and what I can give her and how to serve it, things like that. So we started with just purees. The first puree she had was avocado. I'll go into more detail about what she had, but I'll just keep going with the summary. She started solids at 5 months. It was just purees, I would say, for the whole entire 5th month of her life, wouldn't you?
Going into 6 months.
Yeah, going into 6 months, just purees. I was super anxious about it. The pediatrician said that we should introduce foods one at a time, at least for 4 days, to like see if she had any allergy or reaction to them. So all through her 5th month, she never did. And I actually have a log of like when she tried what foods. So I'll put up some of that information too. But into her 6 months, she was just on purees. I would say like halfway through the 6 month, oh my goodness, look closer. That was avocado. So when she was like 6.5 months, I decided I wanted to start incorporating some baby-led weaning because it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And I think like that's something that a lot of people think they either have to go all in or don't. You can do a combo of purees and baby-led weaning. The first thing we started her on, I think, was actually eggs. Remember, I would make her like those little strips of omelet eggs? I have a picture of that too, I'll put it. Which is funny because we actually found out she had an allergy to eggs. So I like cooked the eggs and cut them in little strips, and I used the app Solids Starts to help me decide what the right way is to serve all the baby-led weaning foods. She actually had eggs 3 or 4 times, and at that point, we did give her puffs. A lot of people had questions about that, and I was super anxious about it, just because, I don't know, I was scared they weren't gonna dissolve fast enough, and there was lots of gagging on the purees. Once we started baby-led weaning, she had like, I'm trying to think, like carrot sticks, zucchini and squash sticks. And then we went, ow, no biting, no biting. We're in a phase where we think biting is funny. We went out to breakfast and I was giving her little pieces of my egg and bread, and literally immediately 5 minutes afterwards, she broke out into hives all over her face and mouth. So I'll post a picture of that too, so you know what it looked like. Luckily, like, she wasn't having any trouble breathing or anything like that. It truly was just the mild hives.
They said not to do anything. Like,
yeah,
you can't get Benadryl or anything that young.
Well, you actually can. Yeah, so it says on the back, ask your doctor, and our doctor had actually given us like information on what kind of dose to give, but we didn't end up giving her Benadryl. We didn't end up taking her to the doctor. They were gone within an hour, and she wasn't acting bothered by it, so I wasn't super concerned. But we called the pediatrician. Of course, it was a weekend because these things always happen on the weekend. And then later that weekend, my dad made breakfast burritos that had eggs in them. She didn't get any, but I had some on my fingers, and then I was breastfeeding, and I think like she got whatever was on my fingers and she broke out in hives too. So anyway, we ended up getting her a blood test, which was the saddest experience in the entire world.
Look at this picture.
Yeah.
Put it right there.
Yeah.
It's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
It was awful. Like, it wasn't just a finger prick or a toe prick. It was like
legit tie her arm.
an adult IV, like, or not IV, butterfly needle, like.
Blood doesn't flow as fast as adults.
So it took a long time.
So it took like 5 minutes for it to fill up the tube.
It was so sad.
She did good though. She would cry a little bit.
Yeah, she was brave, and it looked for basically all the common food allergens and environmental allergens, and the only thing that came back was egg, and it was a mild allergy. So we're going to an allergist to like have a game plan. I think you're supposed to do like egg challenges and like introduce it in baked goods. Hers is a mild allergy, so I think they said she can tolerate it in baked goods. We haven't given her any just because we're like
wait for the
freaked out about
allergist
it.
and let the allergist
We'll wait for
tell
the
us.
allergist. Hi, baby. We're lucky that it's mild, first of all, and they said that kids tend to grow out of them. So when the whole allergy thing happened though, she was like 6.5 months, and I freaked out and went back to just purees. So then after the whole allergy thing, I freaked out. I literally did not give her solids for like over a week at all. She didn't have purees, she didn't have anything. Because I was super anxious about giving her anything that she might have been having a reaction to, and she is an awful sleeper, and I know food allergies can show up in different ways, not just hives. So anyway, finally around 7 months, I started giving purees again, went back to strictly purees for like 2 weeks. And it was all stuff she had already had. I didn't introduce anything new, and she didn't want any of it. And I remember freaking out. I truly remember Googling, is it normal for my 7-month-old not to eat anything? She would like play with it or put it in her mouth and spit it out. Wasn't actually like swallowing the food, which was another common question I got. And then honestly, we just kind of kept at it. And at the end of month 7, I like started to give her just table food, what we were eating. I didn't strictly follow baby-led weaning style serving. What are you doing? What are you doing? She would just have what was on our plates. And I know like things to keep in mind are added salt and sugar for babies. So I would just season her stuff separately. Like Steven made chicken thighs on the grill, kept 2 chicken thighs to the side, used salt-free seasoning, and then put them on the grill for her. But I did rip it into small pieces. So solid starts for her age said to like give her a huge chunk or strip. Didn't feel comfortable doing that, and I modified, and I think that's fine. So started giving her table scraps. This is the longest summary in the world.
It's okay.
8, when she was like 8 months, 9 months. 8 is truly when she was eating mostly table food, what we were eating, hardly getting any purees anymore. Now she's 9 months. She hasn't had puree in a really long time. She eats what we eat. She loves food, is truly eating it and swallowing it. Way less gagging versus 7 months where she was straight up refusing food, gagging on absolutely everything. She gagged more on purees than she did solid food. Wouldn't you say?
And we can't eat in front of her now. She always
Oh
eats
yeah,
something.
they say that you can be doing 2 meals a day at this age, but no, that's not true, because if you're eating lunch and she sees you eating lunch, she's pissed if she doesn't have any. She loves food. So that's like a brief summary. Started purees at 5 months, allergy at 6 months, stopped giving her solids, went back to purees, tons of gagging, food refusal. 8 months started with like baby-led weaning, table food, what we were eating. 9 months now, 3 meals a day, table food. There's a summary for you. I'm just gonna kind of start at the bottom. I'm terrified, I don't wanna do bad, but I'm so scared and I don't know what to give her first. So hopefully my summary showed you that it's okay to be terrified, because I was literally scared to give her all the things. In terms of puree, it can really be whatever you want to give her first. In terms of baby-led weaning, honestly, same. Avocados are a great one, just because they're so nutrient dense, gives them a lot of energy, lots of fat. You can coat it in chia seeds or like breadcrumbs of some sort or almond flour to make it easier for them to grab, because if you're just starting baby-led weaning, I'm sure they still have their palmar grasp, and it's just easier for them to pick up. So some easy things to start with would be slices of avocado, a banana. You can literally just give them a whole banana, like break it in half and give them a whole banana. You could steam carrot sticks. You could steam zucchini sticks, squash sticks. You could do toast, make sure it's slightly toasted and that you put something on it like ricotta or a little bit of peanut butter. Our pediatrician did say we could introduce peanut butter at 6 months. We have done that now, but I waited until like 8 months because I was scared after the egg allergy.
Tell her her favorite food.
Huh?
It goes on bread.
Oh my gosh. Her absolute favorite food is cream cheese. So those are just some ideas for starting. It's okay to be scared. I would make sure that you look up the difference between gagging and choking, because a lot of gagging will be happening, which is included with like coughing, face turning red, and eyes tearing up. All those things are still classified as gagging. Choking is like look of terror, silence, you won't hear anything, starts to turn blue, unresponsive. So those are two completely different things. Gagging is totally normal. When they're this young, their gag reflex is like at the top of their tongue. So of course they're gonna gag on things. It's their way of protecting themselves from choking. So Collins still gags, not really gags, more like coughs. If she gets too big of a bite and it goes at the back of her throat, she'll start coughing and it comes forward. Luckily, we haven't had any choking incidents, but I understand being scared. Next question, what did Collins get first? So I think I talked a little about this. Purees, she started with avocado, and then we moved to sweet potato, and then she did green beans, she did broccoli puree, blueberry puree, she did peach puree, she did squash puree, she did pea puree. So all of those are really easy, but then when you get to baby-led weaning, I think baby-led weaning, the first thing she had was strips of eggs and then slice of avocado. Those were the first things that she had. And you can introduce things super slowly. You don't have to like give her a 5-course meal. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people think that. What are no-nos? When you're first starting out with baby-led weaning, I guess no-nos are adding a ton of salt to your baby's food or a ton of sugar. Honey is a no-no, obviously. And then I would just say download the Solid Starts app. It's free, and you can literally look up any food that you want to give her, and it'll tell you how to cut it, how to serve it, and some ideas for how to prepare it. So Solid Starts app, but that would be the main thing. Why did you go back to purees? I kind of already went through that. After her egg allergy, it just seemed less scary than giving her like chunks of adult food, and she had a couple close choking episodes. They weren't choking, but bad gags, you know, where we like freaked out. So that's really why I went back to purees. How do you still incorporate breastfeeding with adding solids? Okay, so this is her wanting to nurse right now. Hang on. I know you want to nurse, but I know you also ate just a couple minutes ago. So mommy's gonna finish this video and then I can feed you, okay? I know it's different for every single person. When we started out with solids, I would always nurse her first and then offer solids 30 minutes later, because until 1, nursing, so breast milk or formula, is still their main source of nutrition. Now I'm to the point where I just kind of nurse on demand still. She probably eats just as frequently as she did before starting solids, but it's for way less. She'll eat every 3-ish hours, but she's truly only nursing for like 5 minutes. And it's not because she's distracted, it's just because she's not hungry, because she does eat a lot of solids at this point. So I would do what you're comfortable with. Nursing on demand is always good because they'll tell you when they're hungry. Now we're to the point where I could probably offer food first and then nurse to make sure she's full. So I'm still breastfeeding just as much.
And they can't overeat. Our pediatrician said that.
Yes, yeah, so babies aren't like us, right? So when they're eating like table food, they're not gonna overeat. When they're full, they'll tell you. Like, they'll start throwing the food more, they'll get upset, they'll just stop eating. So they're not gonna overeat. If they're hungry, they'll nurse or eat. If they're not, they'll stop. How many meals per day to start solids? When we started solids, we only did 1. I started with breakfast. No, we started with dinner. So we started with dinner so Steven would be home and he could be there for it. We did just 1 meal, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months probably. Honestly, we moved to twice a day around 8 months, breakfast and dinner. And then now at 9 months, she really does eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anytime I'm eating, she gets something because she wants what mama has and she loves food. Don't you, girl? Okay, next question. How do you get over choking fear? We did baby-led weaning and did good, but choked once and reverted. That's literally why I went back to purees. For me, it helped to take an infant CPR class. So Steven still needs to take it. I did it through Tinyhood online, and it just gives me peace of mind knowing that like if something were to happen that I would know what to do. But honestly, the more food that you give them, the more you're gonna be comfortable with it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And
she gets more
unfortunately,
practice.
It takes a few chokes for you to.
Yeah, and not like a full. We've never had like a turn blue full choke.
No.
The closest thing was the potato at mom's.
Yeah. Well,
but you're gonna see them gag and cough and faces turn red and eyes water. That's not choking, that's gagging, and that's normal. And it's their way of protecting themselves from choking. The only way to get over it, I would say take a CPR course, and I would say do what you're comfortable with. Like if you wanna integrate baby-led weaning super slowly, then do it super slowly, but the more practice that your baby gets, the better they'll get, and the more practice you get, the less scary it is. How do you know how much to give them? So honestly, I just kind of go off the plates that I have. We have the easy plates. I think it's the easy, I'll look it up. And I'll do like the grain and the fruit or veggie in the smaller ones and just kind of fill it up. And then, so I'm sitting here editing my starting solids video, and the last 15 minutes of my video has no sound. No sound. Wouldn't work. So I'm gonna try and finish off the questions that I didn't answer. And I believe where I left off was talking about how much food do you know to give them. And I was talking about with baby-led weaning, how I kind of go off the plates. Like I'll put the grains or the fruits and the vegetables in the smaller parts, and then the protein or the main meal in the large part. When we started purees, they recommend to start and offer like 1 ounce at a time. Then you can work your way up to 2 ounces. And we just kind of thought it and offered her. And then if she ate it, she ate it. If she didn't, she didn't. So honestly, the great thing about it too is that you go off their hunger cues. So if she's eating and she's showing interest and finishes all her food, then by all means you can have more. That's kind of how I operate on the how much to give them type situation. And I'm not totally sure about when you switch from like once a day to twice a day. I know once a day was totally fine for starting solids, like 5, 6 months, and even 7 months. More please, say more please. I'm giving her freeze-dried strawberries as we speak. And then you move to twice a day, and now I know I told you that we're on 3 times a day. Best products. So I'm gonna link all the products that I use, but we love our Evla's baby food maker if you're just starting purees. So easy. You steam it, dump it, process it, and then we pour it into these little silicone freezer trays that are actually 1 ounce size, so it's perfect. So when you start with 1 ounce, you know, you just defrost 1 cube, 2, and so on and so forth. And then I'll also link the easy peasy plates and silverware that we use, and the bibs that we use too. So I'll link all of that stuff. Schedule for eating. I know I said we started just with dinner. So I try and feed her a couple hours before she goes to sleep, just because with her reflux, and every human. Let me find you some more, hang on. We always eat breakfast in the first wake window, so I'm gonna do another day in the life updated soon, but we wake up, do all of our morning stuff, change her diaper, and go eat breakfast. It's like the first thing that we do, and then when I eat, she eats from then on out. So if I'm having a snack, she'll have a snack, lunch, so on and so forth. When did you feel comfortable to start solids from purees? It wasn't until like 8 months. Remember, I tried it before and then reverted back to purees because it made me so nervous. So I wasn't fully comfortable giving her table food until probably 8 months. But honestly, more please. You say more please? But honestly, the sooner that you start solids, obviously once they're ready, showing all the signs of readiness, the better that they're gonna get sooner. First solids without teeth, world's biggest myth. Now she did get teeth at 3 months, so she never had food without teeth, but their gums are so strong, they can start solids, baby-led weaning without any teeth. So don't be worried about the no teeth thing. I know that's something that floats around about how they need to have teeth to be able to chew, but they really don't. Their gums are strong enough to do it. So did you make your own? I did make my own purees. So I have a video that I'll link up here, my experience making them. I loved to make my own. I knew exactly what was going in it. It was easy, it was fast. Poured them in the silicone trays when they were frozen, popped them out into freezer bags and labeled them with the date. I think they're good for like 2 to 3 months after you make them, so it was perfect. Allergies, she does have an egg allergy. Peanut butter we gave at 8 months, but our pediatrician gave us the okay at 6 months. They say early introduction is best for the common allergens. Early introduction is best. So honestly, as long as you talk to your pediatrician and they're okay with you starting, then I would start. Did you do teething crackers? Yes. So one thing that I haven't really talked about is her chronic constipation. It is a big battle. I think honestly something's going on. Would you like more, please? More, please. So we have been struggling with her constipation forever. And teething crackers and puffs, while they are convenient, they don't have much nutritional value, right? So they're very, very starchy, low in fiber. They don't really do anything for you. They back her up like crazy. The teething crackers, like the oval rusks, those are good boats for, like, you could do a black bean spread on them or avocado. And I was a lot more comfortable starting those than I was. You want more? Okay. So the puffs made me really nervous just because I feel like they didn't dissolve fast enough, and I watched her like a hawk, one in her mouth at a time. She's laughing at herself. Now she's a pro with puffs, but I still try not to give them to her as often. I recommend Serenity Puffs brand. Can you tell us the summary? I already did that. When did C develop her pincer grasp? Around 8 months she did. So, and that's also when I started to like rip the chicken into pieces too and give her things like black beans that were squished and blueberries, because she did have her pincer grasp to be able to grab those tiny individual pieces, versus when they're younger just having their palmar grasp, which is why they say to serve like the long strips of things that are easy to grab. And I get it, but she shoved things in her mouth and it made me uncomfortable, so I just ripped it in little pieces. Has she been nursing less? I know I talked about that. Yes. Same frequency, but for way less time. So she only nurses for a couple minutes at a time, honestly. And I think it's just because she's not as hungry. She eats a lot of solids. So, have you noticed any changes in her sleep since solids? No, I have not. But we did find out at her 9-month appointment that she is low in iron. So we started a multivitamin with iron, which is also constipating. So it doesn't help her whole constipation issue. But I have not noticed any changes in her sleep. But also she's got a lot of red flags with sleep that we're getting looked at in terms of, you know, her allergies and gas and what seems like discomfort, and her lip tie and her tongue tie and her low iron. So there's a lot of things that I think contribute to her struggles with sleeping. Because I know a lot of moms who have noticed a big difference in their sleep since they've started solids, so I'm not that lucky. How did you get over the crippling anxiety over choking? I didn't. I know I won't like go over my whole spiel again, but I cannot recommend an infant CPR class enough. You don't get over it. You don't. I mean, also the choking risk doesn't stop, right? There's things that you are not supposed to give them, or that are high choking risks up until they're like 5 years old. So, like, my mindset kind of shifted from I'm not gonna give this to her to she's gotta have this. So what you are so next level. To I'm not gonna give this to her to what can I do to be prepared if something were to happen. When did Collins actually start swallowing the food? I talked about that too, but food strike all of her 7th month, probably like 8 months. Which I know it's different for every kid. I have read posts. What are you doing? I have read posts and are you seeing this? Like, she's killing me. I've read posts in this group that I'm in that talk about how their kids like didn't really start enjoying solids until after. Hi, cutie. This is what's been going on behind me. Hey, cool dude. Oh. Anyway, that actually happens to be the last question. So I'm gonna put my outro that I originally recorded because that worked, but not this 15-minute chunk for some reason.
The sound didn't come back on?
No, I didn't. I actually had deleted it from my memory card.
That's so sad.
Stop it. Steven. So anyway, I'm gonna put the outro. Thanks for watching. Here's what I originally recorded. I hope that was helpful for you guys. There were a ton of awesome questions. I think everyone should take an infant CPR class. I think they should be free. They're like 20 bucks, which is annoying, but also the fact that you could be capable of saving your baby's life if, God forbid, there was a choking incident. And I think like I said, making sure you know the difference between gagging and choking, and know that gagging and coughing and eyes turning red and watery is normal. they're trying to learn how to eat something other than formula, breast milk. So hopefully that makes you feel a little better. If your baby is on a food strike and hates solids, eventually they will get there. Until after a year, it's nothing to worry about anyway. She is good with solids now, but even if she weren't, it's not a big deal at her age, so. I know I said this last time, but it's my goal in 2022, new year, new me, to get back to being consistent with posting. Filming is not the issue. Editing is the issue. There's no time. I mean, I told you guys I have a new job now. Hi. I'm working with Truera Corporate, and luckily I'm working from home and it's primarily emails, some phone calls, but I'm doing that, and then my side gig sharing this Truera products, and then being her mom and being a good wife and keeping the house organized and taking care of myself. It's just a lot, but this is something I enjoy, and connecting with you guys is something I enjoy, so it's a goal of mine to keep at it. I'm finally done talking.
Finally. Jeez.
I know. I think this is gonna be like a 30-minute vlog.
It's okay. You gotta make up for the time. Look what I found, your favorite toy.
Okay, I'll link all the products I use. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Like I said, reach out to your pediatrician if you have any specific concerns or questions. This is not medical advice. I am not a professional. I just wanted to share how things went with us and how we did it, because I didn't even know where to start when we started. So, Collie, say bye-bye. You say bye-bye? Bye-bye.
Mama.
Bye-bye.
Mama.
Good job, baby. Okay, bye. See you guys next week. I'm manifesting it. Okay, bye.